Story time, story time. Oh, 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 it's story time. Story time, story time. Let's read a book!
Hello and welcome to Storytime outside from Timberville, Virginia. We're at Showalter's Orchard and Greenhouse. Tonight I'm going to read The Strange Journey of Byron and Cyrus. Byron and Cyrus, a most unusual pair, were simply the oddest two you'd find anywhere. Though altogether quite different, they found common ground on a very strange journey through the woods in the round. You see, Byron the caterpillar, a green-eyed, agreeable fellow, had more legs than he needed, and antennas bright yellow. His black and gold patches made him easily seen by old, nasty Reb Robin, who was always hungry, it seemed. Cyrus the spider, with no distinguishing mark, had 8 eyes and 8 legs that let him move through the dark. He would carry his lasso upside down, he would float, and could weave it like magic and never run out of rope. See all this rope? Their adventure began on a bright sunny day in the woods in the round in a roundabout way. It seems Byron had stepped on a leaf for a bite when he happened to see a most curious sight. There was Cyrus the spider with lasso in hand, busily building something simple yet grand. Between the tree branches he had fashioned his line, back and forth in a circular design. "What's that for?" Byron asked as he inched closer still. "Best be careful," said Cyrus. Byron answered, "Oh, I will." "It's my web," Cyrus said with a mischievous grin, "and it catches my breakfast, amongst other things." "I'm just on my way to the top of the tree," Byron said. "Would you care to come journey with me?" Cyrus answered, "Okay, just as long as we're back for my mid-morning airmail delivery snack." So together they set out for the top of the mount, between them more legs than ever could count. Then halfway up, Cyrus paused. "Byron, listen to me. Why in the woods must we go to the top of the tree?" Byron answered the question the best way he knew. He could feel a change coming, something wonderfully new. Somehow it would happen, but he wasn't sure when. Then Byron and Cyrus started climbing again. Through the leaves they could see the blue sky up above. They were getting so close. Only one final shove. Then all of a sudden, they stared right in the beak of Red Robin, and they nearly let out a shriek. "Stand still," Cyrus whispered. "He can only see me." Then he started to build his web in the tree. "Hello, Mr. Robin, I'm just catching a bug. Would you care to dine with me?" Cyrus said with a shrug. "I could swear I smelled caterpillar," said Reb with a frown. "It's lunchtime, I'm hungry. Have you seen one around?" "Why, no," Cyrus answered. "See one, not me." And he winked down at Byron, camouflaged by the tree. Cyrus, twirling his lasso, kept on building his web back and forth, just ignoring old Reb. Looking puzzled, Reb turned to fly off in the breeze when, as fortune would have it, Byron let out a sneeze. Reb turned, spotting Byron through Cyrus's web, and he reached out to grab him, but got tangled instead. Reb flew off in an instant, web and Cyrus all, and disappeared in the sky to Byron's unanswered call. Byron the caterpillar felt sad and alone. He'd lost his friend Cyrus, and he couldn't get home. He held on to the treetop, and he cried how he wished he could fly to poor Cyrus's side. Then the strangest thing happened. As a light brightly shone, Byron the caterpillar weaved a web of his own. In a moment, he'd spun himself into a room, and he knew right away he had built a cocoon. In what seemed like an instant, he had somehow been changed. He felt different, much lighter, no longer so strange. With a flash and a fury, he burst out through a seam, the most beautiful butterfly you could have ever seen. Up, up, up and higher he fluttered and flew on the wind and the clouds through the sky bright and blue, then spinning and swirling straight down towards the ground like a streak through the sky to the woods and the round. Byron searched and he searched all that day for his friend who had bravely saved him from a most certain end. Flying high, flying low, as the sun slowly set, he was nearly exhausted. Should he rest? No, not yet. Then below he saw Reb perched atop a treetop, a tall tree, and poor Cyrus, all tangled, still couldn't get free. With a swoosh and a whisper, Byron swooped down again. Before Reb knew what happened, he had a hold of his friend. With Cyrus the spider now tucked gently beneath, Byron fluttered away through the air like a thief. Through the woods and the round he flew on for an hour, coming safely to rest on a giant sunflower. I don't know who you are, Cyrus said with dismay, but your unselfish deed I just cannot repay. Byron laughed and he winked, his identity hid. My dearest brave Cyrus, you already did. When Cyrus saw his antennas, a smile came to his face. Is that you, Caterpillar? Byron nodded with grace. How on earth did this happen? I don't know what to say, but before he could answer, something scooped them away. They were jostled and tumbled and surprised as you get when trapped in a little boy's butterfly net. Look what I caught, he said to Cassius the cat. A monarch and spider, can you imagine that? Cassius peeked through the net, purring, oh, joy of joys, that his master would capture such excellent toys. Then the boy said to Cassius, there are special playthings, and he reached in for Byron, grabbing hold of his wings. Oh no. Excuse me, said Cyrus. The boy blinked with surprise. I'm Cyrus the spider, and you appear to be wise. I will build you a toy. Anything that you say, let the butterfly go. I'll make it here right away. Anything? Asked the boy. And he smiled with delight. I know, the boy shouted. Build me a great kite. A great kite? Answered Cyrus. No problem. Stand back. The boy let go of Byron and picked up his cat. Byron flew off at once to find sticks for the mast. As a weaver, he knew his friend was unsurpassed. Then the boy and his cat watched with wondrous eyes as Cyrus began weaving a kite of great size. Back and forth in a diamond design with the skill of a drummer, Cyrus kept perfect time. When he'd finished his fabric, not a thing could compare. It was lace of the angels, it was lighter than air. Byron added the sticks and they fashioned a tail, a few knots and a twist, almost ready to sail. It won't fly, Cyrus said. One more thing is a must. Just a sprinkle of Byron's butterfly dust. As Byron fluttered above it, his dust gently fell. It covered the kite and the tail just as well. Then like magic it rose from the ground where it lay, and the boy shouted out, hey, it's getting away! Cyrus twirled his lasso up over his head, took great aim, and let go with his silvery thread. When the rope hit its mark, the kite shone like a star, and he handed the rope to the boy. There, you are. Higher and higher it soared through the trees, through the air, through the clouds on a magical breeze. Oh, thank you so, said the boy. Then as if from a dream, an amazing thing happened no one had ever seen. Thousands of monarchs flew up from the ground. They circled the kite above the woods in the round. Then, flapping their wings in one final sensation, they gave Byron and Cyrus a standing ovation. Cyrus climbed onto Byron, Cassius purring goodbye. The boy sadly waved as they rose in the sky. Then they circled the kite and disappeared in the sun. They were friends ever after. Their journey was done. There are things in the world, secret, wonderful things. If you stop, look and listen, the ground almost sings. But don't be surprised as you search for a clue to see a spider and a butterfly staring right back at you. See them in there? The Strange Journey of Byron and Cyrus.
Story time, story time. Oh, 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 it's story time. Story time, story time. Let's read a book!